Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in our, well, soon to be ultimate base. As you can see at the moment I'm digging out even more stuff. I even discovered another natural gas geyser that's gonna come in handy. Though at the moment I have to admit I shut down my lava power production because I have so much petroleum and oil at the oh, what's going on? Oh my gosh, that is a little bit of an issue in my base, I have to admit. How the heck? Wait. Why is there even oil in this system? I guess one thing we could do is maybe build up this wall just a tad more and then we are gonna mop up some liquid here. But we can't have all of this liquid, otherwise the pumped out steam is just gonna condense into water and destroying my pipes. That's what's happening right now. However, I think it is now time to take on another duplicant. It's gonna be Bubbles and it's gonna be another astronaut, if I can spell astronaut. And the reason we want to do that is we want to expand our rocket program. At the moment we have 2 rockets going for it, but what I would like to see is some resource collection. So I'm sending rockets to this satellite which has steel, glass, fullerene, isoresin, all the good stuff, and what I really need is a little bit of fullerene in order to get my liquid oxygen system running. So why not go ahead and actually build a 3rd rocket silo. So that would probably go here. Let's see, that's 4 tiles and then 1 here. So that would be our next silo. We're gonna have some insulated tiles right here and then we're gonna have all the diamond spiel and just bring this over. Now there's another thing I was wondering. At the moment we have all of these diamond tiles in between. However, they don't necessarily have the best heat capacity. The specific heat capacity is only 0.5, which means they cannot store a lot of heat. And of course that means we are potentially wasting some of it. So let's search for the metal block with the best heat capacity. I'm just gonna bring this all the way over. Actually, lead is probably not gonna be an option. Steel is 0.4, so that's even worse. 0.1 is worse. Oh, maybe the diamond tiles are the best. Oh no, that is a bummer. Isn't there another tile I could store the heat in? Okay, I have to say this is a little bit disappointing, but I mean, we do have a lot of diamond. We still have 40k left, so that should be good in order to do this beneath all of the rocket silos. But yeah, I was really expecting something else there. Oh no, Bubbles, you should be training. What the heck are you doing? And of course, you also need a room. Whoops. So Bubbles, you are allowed to go into this room and train up. However, you shouldn't go through this one. So this is off limits for you. Actually, you can go back into the base. I'm gonna allow that. Then we're gonna need a quick extra room. Let's go ahead and set this up as well. Oh, that reminds me, we still have to enable the contraption from the previous episode. If we do that, however, that means the old system isn't gonna function anymore since we don't have new water coming in. And that means we are also eventually not gonna have the water here, except we bring it back again. I mean, we could do that. At the moment, we still have a little bit of liquid left, so we can last at least a couple of cycles. What I'm gonna do is connect that, and then we are gonna disconnect our 2 water sieves right here. So I guess all of that water can now flow upwards instead. Same thing right here, this can flow upwards and not into the system anymore. I mean, my idea is eventually we're gonna take apart everything that was here in the main base and we're gonna make better systems. But yeah, this was not built to last, this was built to get us kickstarted. Currently we have around 900 grams of chlorine in here. At the moment, if you remember, we haven't enabled the system just yet. Actually, we do need a little bit of filtration medium now. I already set this up to contain filtration medium. At the moment we're using sand and we should enable allow manual use. Now what this is gonna do is gonna fill up the very tiny capacity of this conveyor loader. The items are then gonna flow over onto this pressure plate, and then as soon as it triggers the maximum height we set it to, there are still all of these items in the loader that are gonna drop on top of the weight plate, and so we always have a little bit of a buffer before the duplicants have to come back and resupply the chest. At the moment this is set to 2000 kilograms, so if it is below 2000 kilograms then we want to enable the loader all the way up there, and therefore the duplicants should now come and fill this up with sand. However, we are not going to enable this conveyor loader just yet. That is going to be for the polluted dirt. At the moment, we don't have enough gases in here. I want to make sure the polluted dirt cannot off-gas at all. And I guess in the meantime, we're going to keep building on the rocket silo, of course. I know, this little bugger, this measly pipe here is missing. There we go. The water has arrived in our system, which is absolutely perfect. All we have to do is enable it. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Yes, clean water, well, churmy water. And now, well, the system is gonna take a while in order to get primed, obviously. So it's gonna be a couple of cycles until we actually see the liquid, but I've already shown off the contraption in the previous episode, so we can just leave this running in the background. Space mission completed. Oh yes, give me more heat and stuff. Actually, this one was my researcher, so we now need to rebuild this rocket. But first things first, we're gonna let the astronaut leave. There we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. Toby needs to go to the toilet. However, right now we want to take apart all of the research modules. What we are gonna go for right now is simply materials, and we can leave the configuration at the bottom be. What we are gonna take with us is 2 cargo bays, and that's basically it. We don't have the fuel for anything that's more fancy than that. By the way, a tiny important change is you should set this to 405 degrees instead of 400 degrees just to be secure. Otherwise you would be a little bit on the margin there, and sometimes this can result in weird glitches such as more oil dropping in and you're getting overpressure or stuff like that. Just set it a little bit above the target temperature that you want. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. 1 cargo bay for you, another one is gonna go on the top. We also want a gantry, naturally, so eventually, depending on our rocket configurations, we're gonna have them everywhere. By the way, I'm now refueling my rocket from all the petroleum that has been produced by the heat of the rocket itself, so this has been entirely filled up by that, which is impressive. Yes, okay, my plan actually adds up. The polluted dirt at the moment is accumulating right here, but we are not seeing any off-gassing so far. I'm also gonna take that opportunity to clear the floor right here. I want to get rid of that and that. Otherwise, that's gonna bother me for the rest of eternity. There it goes into my cooling system. Absolutely wonderful. Alright, we're also almost done with the rocket, just the command capsule. Let's give this a high priority and then I guess we can get started again. I need to look up the number again that we need. Also, we need to fill up our oxidizer tank. It's 1706, so we need 806 right here, 1706 right there. You see, a lot of people have asked me for the save game. The problem is, I've never backed up a save game where we had a stable state. At the moment, I'm doing an awful lot of micromanagement, so if I just give you the word like so, it's not going to be anything that can call itself ultimate at all. So I'm really hesitant to actually do that until we are in a more stable state. At the moment, there's just too much micromanagement. However, what I can do is I can give you the blueprints for stuff like that. So for instance, we installed the blueprint mod. What we could do is just copy everything. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we are gonna do something like that. And I'm gonna call this the water maker. Confirm, and then this is gonna be the file that I'm gonna provide to you in the description. And I'm actually gonna do that in the description of the previous episode, so it's actually with the thing that we built. So then you can have a look at it yourself in sandbox mode, and look at that, we already have some water here. Nice. Is it germ-free? Is it the right temperature? 21.4. Gotta love it. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna provide a save game until we have something stable going on. I'm really sorry about that, but this would just give you too many headaches at the moment. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm not really showing you. We are currently still waiting for the oxalite, actually quite a bit. Yeah, we have to get another 500 kilograms in there. So I guess in the meantime we can keep on building our 3rd rocket silo. Now, actually, once we have the water filling up here, my next goal is going to be to add the sleeping quarters, and we're going to use the water in order to cool down the entirety of the complex, and then we are also going to input the water into the bathroom system at the same time. All of the polluted water will be able to go directly back. So sleeping quarters and bathrooms are gonna be right here, and we are gonna need enough in order to maybe serve 20 or so duplicants. I'm not sure how many we're gonna have, but definitely more than now. And you can already see we are being somewhat creative with the bedroom placement. Hooray! Another space mission completed. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this because this one now actually has a little bit of the materials that we want. There we go, and we get all that nice heat. Thank you very much. The astronaut can go. Max, thank you very much for your service. Let's have a look at that. Steel. Okay, not too shabby. And we get fullerene, but it's only 1 kilogram. I was hoping for more like 10 kilograms. Oh my gosh. And we also have 82 kilograms of iso resin, which is going to be mighty useful. Let's maybe have a look at the refinement tab. What we want is the molecular forge. Holy cow, that is a large machine. So maybe to check it out, let's place it here. How much power are you going to require? What materials did that even take? We took the gold amalgam, okay. So I'm guessing we're also going to need to cool this thing down. Let's already go ahead and prepare that. Yeah, man, you can do it. Thank you. Oh no, that thing looks crazy. But there it is, super coolant, insulation, visco gel, and thermium. Oh my gosh, let's have a look at the super coolant. Just a little bit of fullerene. We have 1,000 grams actually, so we can already do 1 craft. That is actually really great. That means we can fill 10 pipes with super coolant. That might already be enough to get things kick-started. And if I can use liquid oxygen instead of the oxalate, I can refuel my rockets much quicker. It takes 1,600 power, so it's probably best to set it up with the large power cables. However, it also emits a lot of heat, so does this machine, 12, so it's not much more than the oxalate refinery. And since we are only crafting very seldomly, I think we can get away with just this liquid pool. So let's do that. Water, enable auto bottle, and we're gonna input a little bit right there. We are then going to exchange this tile and hook it up to our power system. Very nice. I'm just gonna grab all of my items. They're gonna be dumped right there for my duplicants to pick up. I just wanted to have a look at it while it's in the cargo bay, but it seems to be pretty much reliable in terms of how many resources you get. Actually, I really wonder, is the super coolant just gonna be dumped on the floor here? Because that would be a slight issue, wouldn't it? Maybe let's go ahead, set up something like this with a mesh tile right there, so we can also set up a pump. But I suspect the super coolant is just gonna be dropped on the floor since it doesn't have an output. Okay, nice. Let's see this happen. We're gonna craft 2 super coolant, which means 200 kilograms, therefore 20 pipe slots we can fill with that. Waiting for... there we go. Okay, so they have to bring the petroleum in canisters. That's interesting. Hooray! Oh my gosh, we're doing it, guys. Oh, please, super coolant. No, oh, okay, it drops in a bottle. That is even better. 100 kilograms of super coolant. Oh, I'm so excited. We can now also build some visco gel, which requires iso resin and petroleum. So with that, we can make really nice airlocks that are just 1 wide. And then the insulation is also going to be important because we can build pipes that won't lose any heat at all. And since I'm going to go for the liquid oxygen next, that is going to be one major thing that we need to have. Looking at this, we are going to need a reed fiber farm very soon, that is for sure. But let's do maybe 10 crafts of that. Okay, nice. We have enough oxalate to get things started. Let's assign Toby to be our astronaut for this. And we're gonna send him back to the same asteroid in order to get more fullerene. And then liquid oxygen and hydrogen isn't that far away anymore. There we go. Toby has entered. Oh my gosh, why do we always have to save in important moments? We want to take our Artemis rocket and yes indeed, join up with this planet, launch mission. Yes, I took the right one, thankfully. And there we go, creating new petroleum. See ya. Look at all that nice heat now coming over, slowly heating up my liquid. It just feels right, you know. Alright guys, I actually had a better idea. What I prepared right here is a room with a whole bunch of drywall. And what we're gonna do is fill this up with water, because I realized if we just have a look downstairs here, steam has a specific heat capacity of 4.1, similar to water. It's actually the exact same as water. This essentially means we can store 10 times as much heat in water or steam than we can store in the window tiles. However, we still need the window tiles wherever we have the cone of the rocket so that our drywall doesn't melt down. The heat from the window tiles, however, can be transferred into the steam and stored much more efficiently there. So that's exactly what we're preparing at the moment. And in order to achieve that, I actually also prepared tapping into the water geyser we found. Very good, that's coming along, so we can take apart this wall and then we're gonna set down a pump. This needs to be gold amalgam since the water is coming out at 95 degrees. In terms of power, I suspect we can take our main line right here and just hook this up. Heavy conductive joint plate right there. We are then gonna grab the water, bring it all the way over here. It's time to set up a bunch of liquid bridges. So right here and there, I would like to see a bridge. And voila, we can now combine these. Everything below that can be dismantled. And we should have our water pipe going up here, which is perfect. We're just gonna continue like so. And then we wanna bring it to this line. So that's where we wanna meet up. This is going to allow me to bring a whole bunch of water into here and we're going to fill this up with a lot of steam. Let me tell you, a lot of steam. However, I still will need to keep an eye on it. For the time being, I think it's time to decommission this thing right here. I don't want anything to be collected in this area anymore because soon enough we're going to rebuild that system too. I have something great in the works in my R&D world. We actually have our water incoming. Okay, that is a little bit too early, I have to admit. Thankfully, I just saw it in the nick of time. So we're gonna stop it right there. And we need to wait for at least all of these diamond tiles to be built. Yes, that feels good. Finally cleaning up a little bit. Thanks, Ashcan, for the sacrifice. Beautiful. Thank you very much for completing that. Now we can fill this up with water and everything should be fine. I don't think the steam has any limitations on how hot it can actually get. At least that's my theory. Let's maybe save. But since all of these tiles are still very hot, I think we can take advantage of that, and then we still have a couple of cycles time in order to do the other side of the room as well. We need to be quick about it though. Water coming in, directly converting into steam, absolutely grandiose. Now, as I said, I want to fill this up with a lot of steam. This should have a very high heat capacity so we can store all of the heat that we want, and hopefully nothing gets lost this way. Alright, in this case, let's freaking do it. I want to have this at a very, very high priority, and then we're gonna take out the first layer here. Very good, that's what I'm talking about. A ladder in order to get down, maybe take apart this as well. But I still want a little bit to store the heat. Well, I guess being quick at the moment is more important. Let's do this one as well, and then we need to add some drywall. I went with the mafic rock material, so we're gonna use that again. Ah, look at this new material, insulation. Ah, this is great. I mean, at the moment we don't have enough, but theoretically, yeah, thermal conductivity is 0, so there's no way we're gonna lose heat. Technically, what I should have done is I should have placed one pipe here of insulation in order to be able to keep this open and then maybe have a sensor. So as soon as we reach a certain temperature, we want to drop in more liquid. However, my intention is to just shut this off because I believe at a certain point we're simply not going to need more steam. Right now we're up to 220 kilograms per tile. I think I want to do around 1,000. Sometimes I really wonder how these idiots get into these situations. I mean, are you serious? Come on. Okay, finally, we're also ready to connect the second room, which means we should be able to store the energy or the heat of the rocket that is gonna return in a couple of cycles. And I'm happy about that. If this idea even works, maybe the drywalls are gonna melt and everything is gonna go down the drains. Hold on, what the heck was I thinking with these diamond tiles? I feel like we have pumped enough water into the first room, so it's all about the second room, and the rocket is actually returning. Okay, that is fantastic. That means these tiles are gonna heat up quickly, and let's just quickly observe what's going on here. Ah, that is just perfect. Okay, so this transferring the heat rather quickly to the water. Oh my gosh, this is going incredibly quickly. So yeah, essentially this means we're gonna take a lot longer to heat everything up, but once we have it at a certain capacity, slightly over 400 degrees, it's gonna produce much more petroleum in the long run. I guess we just received a lot more materials, yahoo! Which means we can create even more super coolant, 3 more crafts this time. Ah, this is great. So now we should really look what changes if we use liquid oxidizer instead of the solid one. Yeah, check this out. Instead of the 1706 kilograms, if we use the liquid oxygen, we only have to add 928 kilograms. So we even save a little bit on petroleum. In this case, let's go ahead and deconstruct the solid oxidizer tanks. And we are also gonna decommission. Actually, let's do one more mission since we have so much oxalate still going on. We can use that. So we're gonna cancel the deconstruction of this and fill this up with one last load. However, here on the other side, we're gonna use a liquid oxidizer tank instead. Yes, give this some priority. You know what? I'm actually thinking about creating the liquid oxygen right here, so we could have 2 more rocket silos on the other side and then distribute the liquid oxygen evenly to all the rockets. We could then also use these window tiles in order to get rid of the heat we are producing. Actually, let me see. We should be able to use a different material for the aqua tuner. Yeah, actually, I think it's the thermium, and for that we need niobium, which we can find on a different asteroid, I think. There is 2% of niobium right here and also iso resin. So I think the next rocket I'm gonna send over here in order to get some of that niobium. But we are gonna need even more than that because we want to run a thermo aqua tuner. Actually guys, let me think about this for a little bit. We might delay this to the next episode so I can come up with a nifty system in order to do that. Alrighty, we are back ready to launch the next rocket. I think it's Max's time, isn't it? And we want to fly to this satellite. So launch rocket over here, please. And we will be getting some niobium. And also an awful lot of iso resin, which is going to be useful. So launch that mission and bring back materials. Blast off! Woohoo! Also, more heat. That's what I'm talking about. Actually, these tiles don't even have the time to heat up properly since they are giving off the heat to the steam. So yeah, this is gonna require a little bit of patience. But in the meantime, we're gonna build this contraption. And then in the next episode, I can actually show you what I came up with. And we're gonna build it together in survival. But with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.